What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another installment of the Chelsea Hour. You guys already know how this works. 1 hour to discuss Chelsea. Sometimes just myself and sometimes with a guest like today, and a very special one at that. But before I introduce the guest, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. If you are already a subscriber, please make sure to check out the memberships. It helps out with the content. It helps keep the lights on in the building. And it helps with us building a community, essentially, and keep expanding on this and the algorithm. All this stuff helps out in any means necessary, and you guys being here helps us out tremendously as well. So big up to all of you guys in the chat. Big up to all the Chelsea fans being the chill guy, except for potentially this guy that we're bringing in. You guys may or may not know him from seeing him in the super chats or in the call-in shows over on the Big Six. He's a co-host guest with me over on the Final Whistle podcast and over on the Sideline View show that we do over there. And hey, listen, right now, some fans are chill guys. Some fans have called it from the beginning. People called him deluded. People called him, I don't know, just deluded. but he was speaking sense. And now that things are turning around, a lot of what he's saying, hey, the criticism, let the respect be as loud as the criticism, as they say, or the praise be as loud as the criticism. And he will tell you himself. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I welcome good friend of the channel, good friend of the Chelsea community, super fan, Chelsea fan, Robert.
What an intro.
I do my best. I try my best.
What an intro, my man. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, they've called me deluded. They've called me, high on something. They've said I'm, Captain Clear Lake. But hey, we move, man. We're here.
And you know what's crazy? It's not even been the rivals. It's been Chelsea fans that also say this to you.
It's been Chelsea fans that I've been going back and forth with for the past 12 months or so. So, rivals too, but Chelsea fans as well.
I was getting a Skype call. But no, with Robert, listen, I've even me myself, who I think from the very get-go of this whole takeover, I've been, I don't want to say like optimistic, but I've always been of the mindset like, let's be patient. Projects don't happen overnight. Let's see where this goes, because logically, I do see it going somewhere. Logically, I do see our owners spending money. Logically, I do see them building an infrastructure. And so I think very much you, like me, have been very patient about this. But I will admit, there have been some times I'm looking at Robert like, I don't know, Robert. I don't know about this one. And I think let's start off with the one thing where I think me and you maybe had a difference of opinion on this. Well, let's go over it, because I need a refresher, because there's so much content out there. There's so many opinions out there. It's hard to remember everything and have all the receipts. But let's talk about the hot button topic of the day, the hot button topic of yesterday, and that's Mykhailo Mudryk.
Yeah.
Did you where before this all happened, just out of curiosity, where were you? Where did you stand with Mykhailo Mudryk?
No, it's a player, obviously, that, in my opinion, had been somebody that was massively talented. I rated him that much. But that I always thought was, his development was kind of slower than a normal kid in Coburn, for instance. And so I always give him the grace and say maybe, he's going to be, I always saw him as a late bloomer per se. And so, I never agree with the vitriol, everybody, bashing it on him every single time. I've been the ones that have been defending him, like, just let him play, give him confidence, cheer for him. It seems like he's a confidence player, and so I've been one of those that people have called me a fan of it. It's not that I'm a fan. It's just that I don't think it's the toxicity toward Mudryk helps him, and as a
Yeah.
Chelsea player, I will root for whatever helps the player. And the vitriol and whatever and the pressure and the booing and all that, I never thought they helped him. And so yeah, I've been one of the few ones that have been defending him even when he was going through the trenches overall. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's massively talented, and I think if he can harness his talent and learn and get developed, which Moresca was slowly starting to happen with his development. I think he was gonna be. I think he was bound to be, in my opinion, a top player. But
Yeah.
unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about those circumstances. And by the way, Robert, if you by any chance ever have to get up for a minute because the manager is calling you into the office, by all means, go ahead. I understand. But I guess with me, with Mudryk, I said, listen, we can only be so patient at Chelsea. I understand that, we have a young squad, and I've always tried because I don't have all the same patience for everyone. I've always tried to be of the mindset, whoever comes in who's new to the first team, give them one season and then we'll see what happens the next season, right? I think I've always held that patience for example, Kai Havertz. I held that patience for him. I held that patience for who else? Lukaku. Even though that circumstances changed because of how he acted midway through the season and the things he said. I've always been that way for people like Nani and like Jackson, so on and so forth. Obviously, I'm gonna have my criticism, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in the player. That doesn't mean I don't have patience for the player. I just think there's things that you can improve on, right? It doesn't mean I have an agenda. A lot of people in my chat, or a lot of people in my panel like to say I had a Jackson agenda, but all I said about Jackson is he maybe a little bit too many touches in the box. That's it. And I think that was a fair criticism. But all of a sudden, I have an agenda. But that's besides the point. With Mudryk,
Yeah,
go ahead.
On me, I think for Mudryk, it was the fact that people, obviously, we all knew, based on our recruitment, we were recruiting young players, but it was the unfairness towards him that I saw. People had the patience for some players, but didn't necessarily
Yeah.
afford that same patience to others. Like if we're gonna be patient with some players and thinking, oh, the coach need to work with this player and develop him, well, let's afford that same courtesy to Mudryk. And that's all it's been.
Yeah.
Just let's just be fair. If
Yeah.
we're gonna be, oh, they're all young, they need guidance to the training pitch. Let's afford all of them the same courtesy. You can't say because this player was bought for 30 or 40 million, we can have patience for him. But Mudryk, because he was bought for 60 or 70 million, we don't have the patience for me that he's supposed to deliver right away. It's like that's unrealistic and unfair to him, I must say.
No, and on top of it too. So with Mudryk, I was always willing to give it patience because under the circumstances of his career up until the point where he came to Chelsea, for someone who is of that age, he came at the age of 21, 22, I believe.
Yeah.
He had not played nearly enough football as he should have. So his situation was very unprecedented. He had, as far as I remember, his original club before Shakhtar had been bombed because of the war in Russia and all this. So they had to call the season early and all the stuff going on in Ukraine and the league. It was a very big mess. So there's a big chunk of his career where he wasn't developing. And unfortunately for him, he came to Chelsea at a time where Graham Potter was just sacked, and you get Lampard as a manager. We go on a dark run under Lampard before we finally see a win. But he just wasn't ready. You could tell. The talent was there, right? The technique, the ability to, get past the player. He was a talented player, especially with that Liverpool debut that he had. He was
absolutely
sensational, right?
Yeah.
The next season, you get a Pochettino who us Chelsea fans, or I was told, for example, he's good at developing youth and all this.
Exactly.
I don't know about that one. because I feel like
I am not a clown.
we lost time. We lost time in his career because I think what he needed was not playtime. Well, I think he needed playtime, right? Which he wasn't going to get ahead of Sterling at the time, right?
Yeah.
Who Pochettino wants more experienced players. But I think he also needed guidance, teachings, which Pochettino hasn't been that type of manager for a while. So now I'm on my third season, and now there's Maresca. So let me ask you, right? Do you think, let's say in a hypothetical world, the doping thing goes away, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that soon. The doping thing goes away. He continues his Chelsea season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you give him till the end of the season before you decide to sell him or keep him, or regardless of what happens this season, you still keep him?
No, you know, if let's say the B sample comes back negative and we just and back to having Mudryk in the squad, I'm one of the few that I would like to see him at least with 2 seasons under Maresca.
Oh wow!
The first season, which is this one. Again, we have Conference League. He's been kind of gaining his little confidence in there, and then maybe next season, then you kind of step up in the competition. We're gonna have Champions League and whatnot. And if next season, after having a full year under Maresca and 2 pre-seasons under Maresca, he's still not performing, then I wouldn't feel as bad if we got rid of him. But I still think he's gonna be. I still hold a little small belief that he's gonna be a top player, but he's just a late bloomer. Like I always refer going back and forth in this Matisse, and I say imagine giving up on Mo Salah at 23, which we did. You know what I mean? Because okay, it's one season, we're competing, we don't have time for him and whatnot. And then, obviously went to Fiorentina in Italy and I believe Roma and it was good. He wasn't like horrible. He was good. He wasn't world class. He wasn't like,
He wasn't Chelsea
banging in
level.
30. Yeah, he wasn't banging in 30 goals. And then all of a sudden he comes to Liverpool and it's just he explodes. And he's been world class ever since. And that didn't happen until it was 26 or something like that.
27, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if
26.
if in we give him this season, assuming he resumes all activities, and then next season, and he still is low. Personally, again, I will say it again. I think it's decent to have even if he doesn't reach his potential. I think it will be still a good option to have in the squad as a squad player. I wouldn't get rid of him just because you're gonna have to replace him, and it's just more expensive to replace him.
Don't you think he's an expensive squad player though? Because he's up there. I mean, I know his real transfer fee was somewhere around 60 mil. It was amortized, obviously. So, but the maybe the salary isn't that bad, but still, it's a pricey little transfer.
From a transfer standpoint, it's an expensive squad player. But if you get rid of him, let's say you get rid of him, obviously you're gonna so you get rid of him and you collect some money, you pay off his transfer, then you're gonna have to spend 50 or 60 million to get somebody better than him to be a better squad player. So you might as well, you've already paid most of his amortized transfer fee, might as well just keep him on the low wage that he's on as a squad player, because at least he will be comfortable knowing that it's this is Chelsea, I'm here, and he kind of knows his place. Like he won't come in and be like I'm the dog, and whereas if you go and get somebody else that comes in might think differently, got a big ego, and might ruin the chemistry. But yeah, man, I would keep him.
I'm of the belief that I would keep him if this season I see progress, and good progress. I don't mean just slight progress. I mean a decent amount of progress. Yeah. And so far with him, with what I've seen, I feel like there's been a good amount of progress. I know he's playing against Conference League teams, but even when he comes up against Premier League sides, he looks like he wants to do something. For example, the United game. You know, he came on, he looked like he was trying to make something happen. He was causing a little trouble on that left side. Obviously, we didn't get anything out of it, but regardless, like, he was a nuisance.
Yeah.
And I think Maresca's teachings is finally starting to get into his head, and we're seeing a little bit of the progress that we need to see from him to really determine.
Remember even the Forest game, where he came on and had that amazing run and crossed it with
and Nkunku missed it.
And Nkunku missed that.
Well, they didn't miss it. It went right to the keeper.
Yeah. So there's been progress for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I think with me, I said this is the season for him, for me, right? If I don't see progress, if I don't see anything, I think Chelsea take your losses, send him out on loan, and see what happens where he gets more consistent play time. But if even that doesn't work, start working your way him out of the club. Because if you remember, that was a signing that was a weird one, right? It was in that window where we just got our recruitment, but Bowley was already looking at it. You know, Arteta was interested. We kind of hijacked it because if you remember, and a lot of people don't remember, they have very short memories. You know this
exactly.
If you remember, I feel like that was the hijacking window, where every deal that Bowley saw that another club was doing, he was trying to hijack it.
No, that absolutely.
That was one of them.
You bang on. You know what Bowley, and I think this is one of the goals or the objectives that they wanted to reach was to let everybody know. Like, obviously they're gonna do. We saw it with Enzo, we saw it with Mudryk, and then we saw it with Caicedo, and then Lavia.
Cucurella even. Because remember when Cucurella fell through with City, we just swooped in.
Yeah. So it was more. It was that time where they come in and say we're gonna flex our muscles. We're gonna hijack you from Arsenal. Enzo, we're gonna go to Benfica and come hell or high water. We're gonna get you out of Benfica.
We hijacked him from some other teams too.
Caicedo, we're gonna battle it out with Brighton. Oh, Liverpool gonna mess with us too. Or we're gonna take Caicedo and come after Lavia. Your number one target as well.
Don't forget too, during that window, that January window where the recruitment came in, we tried to go for Caicedo, but Arsenal were in for him too. Exactly. And then Caicedo signed the contract and decided to stay for the season.
He decided to stay, exactly. And that was, I think it was to establish themselves as, with Chelsea, we are as dominant. If we want a player, we're gonna get a player. And so every club now is on alert. Like if you're Arsenal or Liverpool, and you are in a conversation with a player, and then Chelsea comes and becomes interested, or you're gonna get nervous.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're gonna get nervous because these boys don't play. If they want him, and he doesn't mind joining them, they're gonna win this transfer. And everybody, every club in the Prem knows that. Everybody knows that. And Arsenal got nervous about Calafiori because we were semi-interested. And they overpaid and paid more than they should have, because we were semi-interested and they went and paid more money for Calafiori than they should have.
It's true.
And so that's what I believe that was one of the objectives to establish the dominance in the transfer market, to say if Chelsea's in for a player, just don't bother even coming in. We got this. Yeah, don't even bother. Yeah. And if you're interested in the player and we come in, be nervous.
Yeah, I could see that being the reason. And I remember like that was kind of the framing going into it, that we kind of wanted to show off like there's money here. We're serious. Yeah. We're gonna don't joke around with us. But coming back to Mudryk, and now we should probably discuss his future, right? Yeah. So for those of you living under a rock, and for those of you who tune into my channel for news, I'm very sorry. It's been a month since I've done the Casually Chelsea show. It's just been so busy with the schedule. We have two games a week and all this other content to make. I will find time to make it, guys, before the end of the year. I promise you that. But I'll have the panel discuss this as well. But Mudryk just tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug called meldonium. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah. Apparently, this performance enhancing drug and enhances endurance and all this and that. It's a damn shame that this is happening to him right now. It seems like he can't escape controversy.
Yeah.
And obviously with Chelsea, it's never a dull moment, right? Like we always have to have something happen.
Yeah, thanks.
Always something.
Yeah, always something.
Let me ask you this. Do you think he did it intentionally?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I don't.
I agree. I don't think he did it intentionally, but
no,
you tell me why you think.
I agree. I don't think he did it intentionally. Just because it seemed like a guy that's very meticulous. It seems like a guy that seems very meticulous. Big up to Javon in the chat.
Big up Javon, ladies and gents.
It seems like a guy that's very meticulous and goes about his fitness, the right way. And so I don't think, and he knows the importance of this season. Like this is one of those. Like if there was any season that was as important for his career or for his Chelsea career, it's this one.
This one for sure. Yeah.
And so to go and jeopardize that, it just seems that I don't see him. I don't see it to be like something that he would have done. So, but it is what it is. We're here then.
So here's what I think happened, right? Because I've been into sports for a bit now, and this isn't the first time where in every sport there's always a performance enhancement controversy that happens. And with this instance, people want to say to him, oh, but his nutritionist should know, whoever did this and that sabotaged him and all this and that. And I think the biggest one, are you a UFC fan by chance, Robert?
I mean, casual. I'm not that serious about it. Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who are UFC fans and follow it to a decent amount, you'll remember the John Jones case. And John Jones tested positive for Carna something. I forget what it was called. Doesn't matter. But and they were detecting. There's a certain measurement of how much you can detect of it in the body, and I think it was a while before it left his system. So the way I'm thinking about it, and this is the thing too, what people don't understand, and this is what I think happened. I think Mudryk, because we know he's a gym rat as well. He loves to work out.
Yeah.
I think Mudryk was taking supplements like anyone else, creatine or pre-workout, whatever. And what people don't know is that sometimes, depending on where you get the pre-workout or the supplement from, it's made in the same batch that something else is made in.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's cross-contamination.
Oh, yeah.
That a little bit of a strain of something can be detected in a urine sample or a blood sample, whatever they take. And so I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't think that the B test is going to come back negative. I think it's going to come back positive, unfortunately for him.
I fear that too.
Yeah. I normally don't get these things wrong. And I don't think that's something that, if you take it at the wrong time, or if you take a bunch of it in a batch that was made in that, it's kind of like a peanut allergy, right? If you eat something that was made in something that had peanuts before it, you're going to feel the allergy. I think it's the same thing with the performance enhancement drugs. So if you're taking something like creatine for your muscles after a workout or a pre-workout to get you going, then there's a chance that it could be cross-contaminated, especially if you're going for, a brand that maybe you don't trust as much and stuff. It happens. It happens all the time. So I think it's very possible he was just taking a supplement that he normally takes, and it just happened to be cross-contaminated with this meldonium. Yeah. Unfortunately for him, though, this is like also a performance enhancement drug that Maria Sharapova has been caught with before, and other previous, Eastern European athletes and countries have been caught with. So maybe that doesn't help the narrative either, right? But that's just my take. That's what I think happened. But I guess from here, I ask you, do you think, do you wait and give him a second chance, or is this the opportunity you take to kind of cut your losses and try to find a way to get out of the contract with Mudryk, as harsh as that sounds?
I mean, yeah, I'm a believer in the Mudryk talent. So depending on what how long the suspension is. If the suspension comes back and say it's 15 months, I'm keeping him. If it comes back and say it's 4 years, then that's then at that
Yeah.
point it just becomes kind
I
of
don't think it'll be 4 years though, because it's not.
yeah
I feel
yeah
like because the other thing that doesn't make sense to me either, Robert, is like why would he actually take it? Because
exactly
me and you, who and the chat, obviously, you guys who watch Chelsea, I don't think Mudryk's issue. None of us ever said Mudryk's issue was a physical one, where he needed to go faster and he needed to be more stronger and all this stuff. It was always the mental side of the game.
yeah
The ability to make sure you're doing the right things and make the right decision making. So it doesn't make sense to me that he would intentionally take it to perform, boost his his endurance or his performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. What do you? I think his ban will be maybe like 15 months or something like that, depending on how much trace of the substances in there. That could be an argument for reducing the amount or making it more believable. Because if it's a big trace, obviously that means maybe you took it on purpose.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
do you think Chelsea try to cut their losses on this one, or they they stay loyal and give him a chance when he comes back?
I watched Moresca's. I didn't watch, but I kind of read through Moresca's press conference this morning.
I haven't got a chance to do that.
And
okay,
he said that his Chelsea career is not over. That they're gonna give him time. They're gonna support him. They believe in him. They believe he's innocent. But they're gonna let things run its course. And so I think if it's an unfortunate situation, and
it is unfortunate.
I wouldn't. If the ban is 12 to 15 months, I wait for him to come back. And 15 months from now is, let's say, March of 2026. So hopefully he comes back and shows a little bit more. Maybe he works on the mental side of his game and comes back in much sharper and much with much better decision making and whatnot as a player. And and we have a much better version of Mudryk, away from the pressure, away from the everyday. Oh my God, what do we know? Away from all the criticism of the day to day. And although he's gonna miss playing football, at least he can just mentally just kind of relax a little bit and just take a sit back and examine himself and I believe if he gets suspended for that for 12 to 15 months, I think if and then Chelsea decides that we were to keep him, or out, as you ask me, I'd rather keep him. I'm sure Chelsea will give him kind of a manual to follow to stay fit or to improve in the times that he's gonna be away for. And so I mean, again, I'm a stronger believer in Mudryk's talent than most, so I wouldn't get rid of him.
You're very optimistic, Robert. I should have made the positive Chelsea fan, Robert. That should have been the title.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's actually my Twitter handle. Just a positive Chelsea fan.
And you want me to put the Twitter handle down on the bottom, right? I'll go ahead and put that there for you guys to follow him at the end of the show.
I will keep him. I will keep him. I will keep him for now.
Yeah. I mean, I'll see how it plays out. I think for me, because, and this is gonna sound harsh, because I genuinely feel bad for him. I genuinely think he's a good kid. He's just inexperienced in life, so he's gonna make stupid mistakes. Like, we've all been that young, and we've all done really, really dumb things, obviously. But for him, it's like one after the other, after the other, after the other, and it's like, man, this guy can't catch a break. This guy really can't catch a break. I don't know if it's unlucky or if he's just like dumb, like it's you never know. But I think I hope the best for him. But I think I would cut my losses if this is the case for me, just because I think it's too much. It's too much. Like, imagine giving Timo Werner 3 years, 4 years to do something like that's just not fair. I barely gave that guy 1 year, let alone 2. So I think for me to be consistent with how I believe in giving time, I think, you got to be professional at this level, and you got to make sure that you stay on top of these things, and something like that doesn't happen. But let's move away from Mudryk, because obviously there's plenty of discussion on that. More news is breaking out, and once the B sample comes out, maybe all this was for nothing,
Yeah.
But I'll say this to you: everyone's talking about a title race right now, right? Like, it's no surprise here. Everyone's talking about title race.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be Chelsea? All this.
Yeah.
And I remember 2-3 months ago, I think it was the beginning of October, I was telling people, like, are Chelsea in the title race? Are we getting into this? I didn't really believe it, but, I was just asking questions. That's what I do. For me, though, and I want to ask you, everyone's saying it. Robert, where do you stand? Do you think we're in a title race right now?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm not surprised. I already knew the answer before you said it.
I mean, you cannot say that we're not in the title race. Realistically speaking, then I will ask you, then who's in the title race? Then if we are not in it, then there isn't one. And for those who say there's not a title race yet because we are in December, fair. I hear that.
That's where I stand. By the way, for those of you in chat, that's right.
If you believe there currently is a title race, then definitely we are in one. Are we favored to win it? No. But as I've shared with you before, I'm not. There's no scary team out there. And there's not an impeccable Man City with Pep top of his game, with Haaland scoring 50 goals, KDB 20 assists, Rodri doing the madness. There's no that Liverpool with Salah and Mane and Firmino and Fabinho behind them. There's no that magnificent, scary team that you're like, yeah, they're just a level above us, man. They're just a different level from us. So we are not in that bracket. And so, but for me currently, I don't see a team right now that I look at and I said they scare me. And I look at them and say they are definitively better than we are. And I look at them and I say they're in a different bracket to where we are. I don't see that team. I don't see a team that can go, 10 games on a 10-game winning streak. I don't see that. We have the longest winning streak in the league this season, currently at 5 games. Liverpool hasn't gone 5 games on a 5-game winning streak yet. They've gone on an unbeaten run. They've not gone 5 games straight with wins. And so, if we happen, and I believe this might happen actually, that we end up being in a position where we just take advantage of the opportunity that's presented. Where Arsenal is not as good, is not that strong. Man City obviously is doing Man City stuff. Liverpool, get hit with maybe like currently an injury to Konate, and the defense is not that good. A drop in form to Salah, or Salah misses a couple weeks or 3 weeks, then it's not the same Liverpool anymore. And so that is why I think, just based off of that, we definitely are in the title race, because we have just as good a chance to win it as Liverpool does. Just because I don't think there's anybody that's a level above us in this league in this particular season. So so yeah, definitely, man, we're in the title race, definitely.
So let me ask you this then. Did you believe that in 2021, where we at the time, let's put context to it. At the time, we just got Ziyech, we got Timo Werner, second best goal scorer in the Bundesliga. Kai Havertz, very, very sought out, talent from Bayer Leverkusen. Thiago Silva comes into the club, veteran, strong veteran. I think, what was it, in January? No, we got Mendy late in the transfer window. Edouard Mendy, so we get someone to compete with Kepa. These players that, now in hindsight we know how it ended up, but regardless, in that window and in that season where Chelsea were in that conversation, they were at the top. I don't remember where we were in November, but we were in top 4. I know that for a fact. Did you think then we were in the title race?
No.
Why is that? Because then, around this time then, well, not this time, but November, back then, we were up there in the top 4, and we did have good form. We were keeping clean sheets with Edouard Mendy now in the back and Thiago Silva. Frank Lampard was working something out, but then it all capitulated. So why now are we in the title race versus then?
Because then I feared Man City. And
Okay.
I actually had gone to the game at the Bridge, Man City versus City.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
that's the Lukaku season, right?
No, that's the season before Lukaku. That's the Frank Lampard season.
Well, the Frank Lampard season, no, because I never rated Lampard as a manager. No way. Yeah.
Okay.
That season before then, no way. Because I never rated Lampard like that as a manager, so I never thought
Because
he could do it.
the reason I say that is because I know going into that season, we looked good in the beginning. Things were okay. Obviously, we had our deficiencies, right? But I remember Frank Lampard was doing all right. And then come December time, it all fell apart. And then it took a very bad run up until January for him to get sacked. And we were in, 10th or 9th place at the time? It was right after Leicester he got sacked.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Tuchel comes and turns it around. That's a whole different conversation, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, okay, let me ask you this follow-up question, actually, as well. Do you think the season after, where Tuchel wins the Champions League with this team, all of us were saying, or at least I was saying, most Chelsea fans were saying, we have a good squad, we have a good team, we just need a number 9 because we create chances, but we're not clinical. We get Romelu Lukaku. We are in first place up until November. I even remember that season, I didn't predict we'd win, but I had people were predicting we would win the title race.
Yeah.
We were the best team in the world at the time.
Yeah.
Did you think we were in the title race then?
No.
Okay, why is that?
Because that's the season actually, that Tuchel and Lukaku season. I'd gone to the Man City game at the Bridge where we lost 1-0. I believe De Bruyne that scored or Jesus. Yeah, we lost. I believe Jesus scored. We lost 1-0. And I watched that game, and I said, "This is Man City that's not even clicking yet."
Yeah.
And we can. They just bumped us at the Bridge. That was in September, and even when we were top in January, I just say it's just because City are cruising. I was fearful of City, and they're just a level above us. And they're gonna kick in gear. They're gonna go on one of those madness runs that we're just not gonna keep up. And I just never believed that after that game, City versus us at the Bridge, as I was like, this Tuchel and Lukaku is not gonna work.
Oh, really?
I didn't think from a personality standpoint. I thought from stylistically, Lukaku is not a Tuchel player. He's not a Tuchel.
Yeah, it seemed that way early on, for sure.
Yeah, from that moment, and I know Lukaku is a £100 million striker, and he's gonna play every game week. That's before the interview and whatnot. He's gonna play every game week, and we're gonna lose games because Lukaku is up front in a Tuchel system, and it's not a compatible match. And from that game on, I ruled us out of the title race.
Okay. Okay. See, that's the thing, though. Robert, you gave me your reason, and your reason was that you felt that you feel that this season there isn't a team that you're afraid of. But you're keeping. This is the thing, Chelsea fans. This is the thing, people in the chat. Robert's at least being consistent because he's telling me those seasons, Man City were the better team, and he's right. Man City were the better team, even though Tuchel did have his number 3 times that season he took over. Yeah. But obviously, once you lose the one, that gave you the idea, like, okay, we're not in a title race. But that's what I mean. Like, I feel like a lot of rival fans right now are looking at our place in the table and saying, like, oh, you guys are really close to Liverpool. Obviously, you're in the title race. And it's like, bro, if you're saying that based off of where we are mathematically in the table, then Nottingham Forest are in the title race. You know, you see, you laugh, but it's true, right? Using their logic, then Nottingham Forest are in the title race.
Yeah,
and
but that's gone.
But what? Is Nottingham Forest?
That's a flawed logic because we all know Nottingham Forest is not going to sustain the run.
But how do we know we'll sustain the run? Because we haven't done that before.
No, how do we know that we're going to sustain the run?
Yeah.
Because I believe we have more talented player. We have a structure that is not based on individual. Obviously, it's based on individual talent. But
last season it was based on individual talent.
Last season it was, you needed a player's magic to bail you out.
Yeah.
We just beat Brentford, and Palmer wasn't one of the best players on the pitch.
This is true.
You know what I mean? So we can win the game whether our best players on it or not.
Yeah.
Because we have a structure and we have a variety of threats coming from like if Forest loses, Woods or one of the centre backs, speak.
Is it though? Because they have a very good. Listen, I'm playing devil's advocate. All right, I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Yeah. I'm playing devil's advocate. Yeah, but what they managed to do this season is be very, very compact, very much Jose Mourinho style football, and they're getting results. Park the bus and hit on the counter. They have good pacey wingers in Callum Hudson-Odoi. Ola Aina's also putting in his work for that team. I forget who else is. Gibbs White is also helping them out. Chris Woods, all that and that.
Hudson-Odoi, Elanga.
Yep. Exactly, Elanga. Thank you. So for me. And I'm just using the rivals logic. For me, you can't say Chelsea in the title race, but also not say that Nottingham Forest in the title race simply because of where they are in the table. And even if you look at the players, right? Because you say we have a different system and all this and that. Let's not forget, 2 seasons ago, Nottingham Forest had the most transfers in all of the Premier League. Yeah, and they had the maximum amount of squad. Remember, Andre Santos couldn't get a single minute because there were so many players there. They have the depth, they have the players, and now they have a manager that's actually getting a tweak out of them. Yeah. So I can use this same exact logic that the rivals are using for Chelsea for Nottingham Forest, but they don't want to count Nottingham Forest because... it's Nottingham Forest. They've never been a same team. But where was that energy for Chelsea this season? Because earlier in the season, people were saying, Chelsea are in a serious team. Their owners don't know what they're doing. Now that we're getting the results and we look convincing, we're playing exciting football, now the narrative is changing. So that's what I mean, Robert. Like, why keep that energy for us but not Nottingham Forest, who are doing a lot better than they're supposed to as well?
Yeah, I hear that. But
it's the gegenpress, Robert. It's the gegenpress.
No. I hear that. But to me, at this stage, if you can say Forest is in the title race. Everybody that's within 10 points of Liverpool is realistic in the title race. Yeah, realistically. Now, as we go 10 games to go until the end of the season, to me, it's gonna be anybody in the five that's within 5 points of top is still in the title race. Whether they can, they are favored to win it or not, that remains to be seen. Yeah. But realistically, they are in the title. How many points? I think they're more than 10 points behind Liverpool, right?
Nottingham Forest?
Yeah.
Let me check real quick for you. Hold on. I don't think so. I think they're a lot closer. Okay, so Nottingham Forest are on 28 points. Liverpool are on 36, so they're only 8 points off.
Okay, 8 points off with Liverpool
Yeah.
the game in hand. So
Yeah, Liverpool has a game in hand.
So
Yeah.
if you want to say they're in the title race, sure. Mathematically speaking, in my definition of the title race, they are in the title race.
Yeah.
Now, are they favored to win it? No. Are we favored to win it? No. Is Arsenal favored to win it? No.
They were supposed to be.
We are all in the title race. Obviously, we expect some to fall off earlier than others. Like Nottingham Forest is gonna fall off probably earlier than Arsenal and us will do, assuming we fall off.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're gonna use that logic, yes, they are in the title race.
But the reason I even bring it up, right, Robert, is because we've seen two teams that were in the same position that once we hit December, they fell off and no longer were in that race. So people, when they look back at that, say, yo, Chelsea weren't in the title race, even though we were in the same position or similar to in this position back then as well. So that's why, like, I'm using that same logic back to those players and to those people, the rivals, right? But here's the thing with me. Mathematically, we're in a title race. And we went over this in Javon's show that unfortunately he's not going to come out because of issues, technical issues. Sorry, people. They're going to re-record tonight without me, but it's okay. They got a special guest over there. So make sure to check out the sideline view over on the Javon's channel over there. So I'll put that link down in the description below. But for me, obviously we're up amongst in the title contention, right? I just don't think a title race is really like starts up until the end of December, where we're halfway there. And it's like it's weird to me, because why would we discuss a title race so early? If that's the case, then we should have talked about the title race since day one, where Brighton was in first and Newcastle, you know?
All right, let me. I keep hearing this from people. Some people say, okay, when I'm gonna state my, whether we're in a title race at the end of January. Some are saying I'm gonna let
everyone has a different
Man
opinion.
City game, determine whether we're in a title race. And my question is this: what information are you gonna gather between now and the City game that you don't have right now?
For me personally, is the December month. That's the only one that I just have PTSD, because I've seen Chelsea fall apart in December so often. I'm right.
We had PTSD going to West Ham. We had PTSD playing Brentford. We had PTSD playing Villa. We had PTSD. Who else do you have PTSD on?
Everton, which is coming up.
Yeah, Everton is coming up. We got PTSD against Everton. We had Bournemouth PTSD. Like, how many PTSDs we gonna have?
We just Premier League PTSD. That's what it is.
I got PTSD FC.
Yeah. Yeah, we're PTSD FC, Charity FC, PTSD FC, you name it, baby. We're there,
bro. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just for me, I don't see a point in really bringing that up to discussion now. For me, it's more like, I think it gets more interesting when you get to the end of December, because for Chelsea, the end of December marks like, okay, this is where we get through the toughest part of our season. Because it's always been notorious for Chelsea. Chelsea have always capitulated. Like, I remember, oh my days, man. I remember losing to Arsenal in December and Man City in December, back under Frank Lampard, and I was just devastated, right? And then we go into Tuchel season, and we lose Reece and Chilwell, and the wheels fell off completely. We couldn't win a game. We were in really bad form. I remember even later on that season, when we didn't have those players, Real Madrid whipped us at home. We nearly made a comeback. And it would have been an amazing comeback if we did. But it was bad. It was bad.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, right now, let's you say you have PTSD because you remember us capitulating, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other two teams that are supposedly in the title race, do they have a history of capitulating in title races recently?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Liverpool last season towards the end, they capitulated. They had some hiccups. Injuries were a big issue for them, so they capitulated towards the end of the season, not in December. Arsenal, they bottled it twice now. Especially, that first season, there was a big fall off. The biggest bottle job, I think. They were like,
Exactly.
9 or whatever points ahead, and they completely
I think
capitulated.
they're like 12 points ahead with but I think Liverpool or Man City had a game in hand or something.
Yeah. I think I see where you're going, but go ahead. I see what you mean.
But this is what I'm saying. There's nobody that I fear. Oh, capitulation? Yes, Liverpool has capitulated before. So is Arsenal. Are they on the pitch? Are they levels above us? No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, Slot has said himself, the hardest team he's come up against is Chelsea.
Yeah.
And people might say, oh no, you don't, you haven't beaten the big, any of the big six or any of the big teams. Yeah, granted. But we are, are they calling us the bullies? That's what they're calling us these days, because we beat up on the small teams, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We might get a draw.
Bullies, yeah.
We might get a draw against Arsenal. We might, might lose against Man City and against Liverpool. But I believe if we're playing that West Ham game, I believe we win it. You know what I mean? The Arsenal just drew against.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just played against Newcastle. We beat them. Liverpool drew against them.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? And so people acting like, oh, beating Man City gives you 4 points and beating Wolves get you 2.5 points. It's all 3 points. Whether I drop points against a big team or against a small team, I'm still dropping points. And so to me, I believe we are in the title race until we're not. I'm not afraid of being bantered. Oh no, you battled it or whatever.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I'm just saying we are not favored to win it, but we're definitely in it. If you don't think we are in it, then there is no title race. You cannot make an argument that there is a title race and not say the title race consists of Chelsea or Liverpool, Chelsea, and maybe Arsenal. If you want to include Forest in there, by all means.
Let's include Forest, man. Come on, let's be fair.
If there is a race, if a race exists, Chelsea's in it. Otherwise, then nobody else is in it, because you cannot make an argument for Arsenal that you won't make for Chelsea.
And not in Forest, but
but I think you are not in Forest. I swear to God.
That's gonna be my shield up until I get to the end of December, man. They got that low block; it's impenetrable. That's my shield right there.
Yeah.
But I think this is listen, and chat. This is going to you guys as well, because I know I got rinsed for having this take on American Waffle on Monday, and I couldn't believe that people really couldn't understand it. But for me, I think we will be in a title race by the end of December. I think we will be in a title race. And now, and this is the other thing too. People tell me I didn't have chess. Listen, I've been here through Potter. I've been trying to be fair to these owners for a long time now, and I've stood up for them. Don't tell me I don't have chess. I have chess for my club. I just know when and not to, when not to, when to have chess.
Exactly.
Right? So for me, the way I see it is we will be entering a title race at the end of December. That's when it starts for me. I think we will be in a title race.
Yeah.
And if things keep going the way they are going, first of all, ladies and gents, I want to point out something, that if we win our next 10 games or next 5 games, we will have won 10 games in a row. That for me is a testament, okay. Because listen, it's only 3 games. It's only 3 more games until we get to the end of December. Then on top of that, 2 more. I think it's very doable. And if we win 10 games, that's that run that I'm looking for, that Chelsea fans are looking for, to say oh, Arsenal were able to do it, Liverpool were able to do it, Man City were able to do it. Maresca is now getting this team to do it. I know we have our deficiencies, right? I know, we have our deficiencies in the defense, with the goalkeeper. Listen, I think we can still get by with those deficiencies and get a result. And I'll say this: if Chelsea roll up to the Etihad and we actually get a result there, Listen, I genuinely don't care how we play because at the end of the day, we need to get the result.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll play well.
Yeah.
If we roll up to the Etihad, and I don't care if this is this Man City or a better Man City, doesn't matter. It's beating Man City regardless. It means a lot.
Yeah.
If you beat Man City, I'm putting Chelsea as favorites to win the title.
Okay.
And I say that because I believe in this team. I do think we have a very good team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know this in chat, and Robert, I think I maybe told you. I think if we face Liverpool now, we get a result. If we face Arsenal now, we get a result. I feel like our team is ready now, whereas they were like when we faced them back in October, we were still kind of like figuring out the kinks.
Exactly. But in that, Enzo was not playing up to form. Was Sancho was still getting up to, was still getting his fitness going on.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, I believe people are talking that Man City game, and that's fine. But my point has been, if we catch Liverpool at any point with same game played, same fixture, same amount of games played, and we are tied on points, or we are a point or two above them, then we are winning the title.
Yeah.
If
and
Liverpool,
it could happen this weekend.
If Liverpool allows us to catch them, no, I'm not saying with the game in hand or whatever the case may be. No, we have played the same amount of number of fixtures, and we stand either joint top with them, or we are a point ahead of them. I believe we're gonna win the title. Because I believe Liverpool has peaked.
Really? You were thinking they already peaked?
I believe they already peaked.
Wow. What do you think? Why do you think they already peaked? Because they just dropped 2 points recently?
Not because they just dropped. Remember.
Or 2 games, I should say, not 2 points. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm the one that's been of the opinion that I haven't been impressed by Liverpool, even when they were,
No, I get that one, because if you guys watch the Liverpool games, you notice against Brighton they were struggling. Against Southampton they struggled. There were games where they weren't the better team and they still got the result.
Yeah. And that's what I believe they've peaked, because they've gone so far without injuries. Again, you need some luck to do that. And then Salah is in the form of his life. And normally, you would say in the second half part of the season, Salah performances
dries up a
little bit. And I shared this with you. The 3 games they've dropped point in. 2 of them is because Salah hasn't scored. And so,
I think there was a crazy stat that Salah is accountable for 75% of their goals.
Yeah,
that's insane for one player to have 75% of your goals.
That's what I'm saying. If Salah goes down, who are you gonna replace those G's? Harvey Elliott,
Darwin Núñez, man, world class player right there.
Man, I'm saying, man, Liverpool does not scare me, and I believe they've already peaked. And I don't think we have peaked. I think we're just now starting.
Yeah, we're starting
to take off. Yeah. I don't
and
think
we have injured players too.
We have injured players. Yeah, I don't.
We don't even have Reece. That's another one too.
No Reece. Look, Badiashile looks like he's injured. Fofana is currently injured. Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't think we've peaked at all. I think Liverpool has peaked, and I think from now on it's gonna be kind of more of a seesaw.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. I don't know if they peaked, but I think after this week, if they see us on the table ahead of them, if we win our game, which, knock on wood, I hope we win our game. Yeah. If we win our game, then maybe the pressure gets to them and they drop points again. Then Robert was right again, ladies and gents. But let me ask you this. Do you think, because we're all looking at Liverpool, and I don't think that Chelsea are going to be perfect. I think we will drop points at some point. I expect us to. I really actually think we can get 10 in a row. After that 10 in a row, I don't know. I'd have to look at the schedule, but I think we might drop points. Fulham actually scare me. Like Fulham might be one where we drop points, but that's neither here nor there. They're a tough team. They're a good team.
No, they are, but they play football.
Yeah,
and you can't play football with Chelsea.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. But let me ask you this, because we're looking at the opponents in front of us, right? We also have to look at the ones behind us.
Yeah.
And we'll start with Arsenal. Do you think Arsenal turn it around? Do you think Arteta finally says, you know what? I'm going to stop reading the Jose documentary or the Jose biography, and I'm going to actually play my football? Because that's their issue, right?
It depends on what his identity is. Whether he's more of a...
Do you think he knows?
Pep, or is it more of a Mourinho? But I think...
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't think he no longer has the personnel to play that football. The Xhaka, technically sound.
Xhaka was a big loss for them. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Martinelli on form.
What someone said earlier, and let me see if you agree with this. I think someone said, I saw in a video earlier, someone said that I think Martinelli being wedged into a system versus that season where he had 15 goals where he was more free and they were figuring out the system.
Yeah,
I think that's what's been hindering him. Do you think that's the case too?
No, I've always thought he was technically limited.
Okay.
And so when teams started to give Arsenal more respect, it's not like a Sancho where you're like, oh, with low block or no low block, Sancho probably cook you. But once people started giving them more respect and not leaving that much space on the counter in behind, I think it got kind of hard for him. And those Xhaka passes, off of his run to read his run, because Xhaka wasn't just skills and a good midfielder, a good left-sided eight. He was
good leader.
His IQ is he's got quite a high IQ. So
he was disrespected for a long time up until that season.
Yeah, his positional sense, his reading of the game, his passing, know when to pass, know when to hold, when to recycle the ball, experience. And Arteta, you can tell he's been trying to replace him, try to find somebody like him, but just both Havertz, now Marino or whatever, just hasn't happened. And so I don't think he no longer has the personnel to do that. It was Xhaka and Partey and Odegaard in the middle. Now it's Declan Rice, Partey and Odegaard, an older Partey. I don't think he has the personnel to do that anymore. So he has to resort to what the players in his squad will allow him to play, which is,
just low block, disgusting football.
Yeah. The
Corners FC.
The technical ability up top is limited, so you gotta show it up at the back and win more defensively.
Yeah. Okay. So you think they'll still sit there and they'll disappoint this season because they were supposed to be in the title race. Now they're trying to say, "Oh, Chelsea, you must." Like, no. You were supposed to must. Now we have to show you how London does it, right?
Exactly.
What about Man City? Do you think they turn it around, or has the damage been done?
Yeah, it's too much. Even if they buy in January. In the Pep system, for players to come in and be effective straight away, Pep usually will take time for to kind of allow players to learn their system before they start playing week in and week out. And even if they buy a bunch in January, I don't think they're gonna be that. Pep is still gonna do it. It's gonna be doing madness anyway, trying to let those players acclimate themselves into the system.
Gonna take time to gel.
I think it's a little too late for them.
No, I get you. Here's a fun one. Do you think Nottingham Forest keep this up? I had to throw. They're in the title race. I had to throw Nottingham Forest in there.
I think Forest. The good thing about Forest is they are excellent against the big teams.
They are. They're the only
But they're
ones that
not-
beat
they're-
Liverpool this season.
When they play against people like of their level,
Yeah,
they're just
because they have to actually play football.
now you have to come out and play.
Yeah,
And so
It's
the
funny,
struggle,
yeah.
like against a Villa, is the onus is on Villa to go and win the game, and that's where they catch you sleeping and whatnot, and
yeah.
So I don't know what the fixtures has been. Haven't they play all the big six teams?
I believe they have already. Let me just double check real quick. Nottingham Forest. Actually, no, they have. Well,
we've played
I
them.
mean, are we gonna
Yeah.
count Tottenham?
Yeah, we've played them. They've played Liverpool.
They have
They
Tottenham
play-
on Thursday, next Thursday.
They have Spurs on Thursday. Yeah.
That's it.
So
And then they play them all.
that's the thing. So now it's gonna be trying to beat the Crystal Palaces of the world and the Ipswich and the Evertons and all that that are gonna respect you. But yeah, they're a good team. They're very organized, but they're
I'm
gonna
impressed by
struggle
it, man.
Yeah, no,
I never
they're-
rated Nuno like that, but he's doing good. And the fact that we're in December and they're still up there, that's impressive. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I think we're being a little disrespectful saying they're lucky to finish top 10. I think they're going to be in there. They might be. I think, my hot take, I think Nottingham Forest go to Europe. By the end of the season, they finish in the European spot.
I think they'll do Europe. I don't think it's Champions League though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Champions League, but I think they will be in Europe. Maybe
Yeah.
I can see them making Europa. It could be Europa.
Yeah. Europa is what,
which is
sixth,
really
right?
impressive for them.
Yeah, I can see them finishing sixth.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I mean, one final one for you, Robert, before we close it off. Saliman here asks, and big up to Saliman, a member of the channel, and big up to everyone who's also a member of the channel. This is a funny
big
one,
up, man.
JC. Can afford
Subscribe,
Spanish Pub City.
like the video,
Thank
and
you,
all
thank
that
you.
good jazz, man. Pay your rent, as they say.
There you go. So would you bring in any transfers in the winter, Robert?
Yeah. If
did you
Mudryk
have in
B
mind?
sample comes back
Okay.
positive, I think we need to buy a left winger. And
You want to stick with Tariq George?
no, I don't think he's ready.
Okay.
I don't think he's ready. Because if Sancho goes down, then it's Tariq George.
Yeah.
You know?
Or Neto,
It-
but yeah.
Yeah, or Neto. Yeah, but I believe our bench against Brentford. I believe we're gonna come up. That's gonna come up at least twice or three times again this season. And so the fact that we didn't have the depth to make the substitutions in that during that game, we were lucky to escape. But you can tell at the end the players were gassed because most of them played 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And so that's one of I believe a left winger we need. We need a center. Oh no, I think we need a left winger, and that's about it. I was gonna say center back, but that I believe that's more for summer.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would actually stick with Tariq George if the B
You
sample comes back positive. I don't think he's ready, but as a backup, I think for 1 or 2 games, I think he'll be just fine. Worst comes to worst, you can always put in Kunku in that left wing. You can always put Jackson in that left wing as well. Not that you want to. I think they can do a shift because people really want to hate on that Nkunku cameo in the first game of the season at left wing. I think he did a good job. I think he created chances and stuff, but it was just, it was City. For me, I would go for a center back. I personally think the center back would have to be either. I don't know if we're still interested in Diomande. That would be something I would entertain. I would also entertain someone like Murillo from Nottingham Forest if they were to let him go. We were linked with him for a while, and he's looked really impressive.
I like him.
I'm not gonna lie.
I really, really like him.
Yeah, I like him a lot. So that was one that we've been linked with for a while now. I would entertain bringing in a Murillo if Nottingham Forest were to let go of him, which I don't think they will, considering where they are in the league right now. They probably want to get in the European spot really badly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Bring back Thiago Silva. No, I'm just kidding. I heard also like, Christensen is up for debate as well. I think he's going to be let go of in the summer, but that's more of a summer move. I'd bring him back, personally, me. And a free, we brought Tolson on a free. I think him on a free, a ball-playing center back like him,
Yeah.
I would like that. But that's summer. We're talking winter.
Yeah.
Winter for the goalkeeper, it's going to be tough. I don't see us getting a goalkeeper.
No.
If we do,
we're good on the goalie.
no, we're not. We disagree on this one. I don't think we are. I'm not convinced. But I think either Petrovic gets called back or maybe even, I think there might be, I think we can get Penders in January, possibly cut his loan short. But
I'm not sure about that. Petrovic, I don't think Moresca raced him whatsoever.
Yeah, maybe it might be that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think goalkeeper is Sanchez and Jorgensen until the end of the season. I can see if Nottingham Forest is up to selling Murillo. The reason I didn't say a center back because I want to go for a somebody that's gonna raise our ceiling, not somebody that's gonna raise our floor. I don't want to bring in like a Mark Gray. Just he's okay. I want to bring somebody that's gonna be like top, and I highly rate Murillo. Nottingham Forest, I'm like, are okay to sell him in January. Hey, take him any day of the week.
I agree. I think Murillo is a very good talent. But other than those positions, I think I'm okay, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
We'll see what happens with the loans and all that. But I mean, that being said, Robert, thank you for your time, man. It's been excellent. Obviously, this show never goes just an hour. We'll always go over the time, but it's because I enjoyed talking to the guests,
No, pleasure.
Obviously, we'll do this again sometime. If you guys haven't done so already, be sure to check out the sideline view over on the
Final Whistle podcast.
Final Whistle podcast. I always think it's Football Whistle, whatever. Final Whistle podcast channel. That's Javon's channel. You can check out me, Robert, and Javon over on the Sideline View show over there, where we talk about Chelsea, the games, and we just have our say and just lay back and relax and discuss the team we love. Also, Robert, where else can people find you? Twitter, right?
Yeah, man, I'm on Twitter.
It's down below, people in the description. If you just refresh your page, you'll see it.
Come chat with me, follow and whatnot, and we'll chat Chelsea. I'll give you my hot takes here and there that people always think is crazy initially, and then they end up agreeing with most of the time. But we'll digress. Yeah, man, come show love and like, subscribe, do all those good things. Share the video, man, to everybody that you
Appreciate
know.
you.
Support the channel, man. This top guy here doing good work.
No, you're also doing good work, my friend. Keep the spirits high. Keep having your hot takes, because listen, I think you think logically and you're patient, unlike a lot of Chelsea fans. And listen, even I'm not as patient as you are, and I'm pretty patient. But listen, you're giving Robert Sanchez patience, you're giving Mudryk patience, you're patient for everything, bro.
I'm just a positive Chelsea fan. That's all I am.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what his bio says on his Twitter as well. But ladies and gents, I appreciate you all being here. Be sure to smash a like if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you haven't done so already as well. That reminds me, if you are a member, or if you're considering becoming a member, there's 4 different tiers starting at 99p. And if you are a member at the proper casual tier and higher, you get shout outs at the end of every show. And that's going to go out to our friend TM127, EE, Hassan Nawaz, Dark, Adrian, A. Soliman, Scott, Josh CFC, M3, Aiwani, Gabriel, and Banana. Big up to you guys for your relentless support, and big up to everyone else who's also a member. We'll get you some new emojis soon. I've been just so busy. We'll get you a Casually Chelsea show as well. I've just been really, really busy, and that show takes time to build. So I appreciate you all for being here. We have a raid message, so copy and paste that raid. We're going to be raiding Don Hussam. So he's doing his stream, probably telling me telling us how he's the leopard in the tree still, and all this jazz, and that Chelsea are title contenders. And he's, to be fair to him, he's actually given the right energy to Arsenal. Arsenal, you're supposed to must this season. So keep it consistent. But yeah, big up to him. copy and paste that raid message. Let them know where you're coming from. And Robert, thank you again for joining me. Ladies and gents, this has been the Chelsea Hour. You have a wonderful night. As always, stay casual. Peace.
Yeah.